back to a new Hints and Theories video. My name is Julia and here on this channel I talk about all the mole shows, so if you do not want to miss any of that then please subscribe and also check out my Instagram. I actually thought that this year would be the last video to the 11th season of the Belgian the Mole, but since we will get to see all the mole actions and stuff like that next week, I will of course also produce another video next week, so that one will be the last one then. And today we will talk about what happened in the final, in the current episode, and of course we will talk about who the mole is. But before we get to that, I know you are probably already feeling it deep down inside of you, this empty sadness of not having any, well, the mole shows anymore. And of course I can feel that as well, but I've got some good news, I think, so I will share them at the end of the video, so make sure to watch it until the end. Now first things first, I of course have to say the most important sentence of this video, and that is: Comfort is the mole. Yes, Comfort is the mole. Congratulations to everyone who had figured it out correctly. I know at least one person who did. I'm not sure if you want to be mentioned with your name here, so I will just say that she's been on the Comfort for weeks and she wrote a comment under, like, I think almost every of my videos to this season, and I'm not sure if she wanted to try to convince us, but she was correct, so well, congratulations to you. And this season it was especially difficult to figure out who the mole was. You've probably, well, of course you've seen it as well. In the beginning of the show they showed us the percentages, and yeah, 30% roundabout for each candidate, so it really was difficult, and all the mole YouTubers I know and the mole Instagrammers I know also struggled. So that's, well, a great compliment to the producers of the show. And as I said, next week we will talk about all the mole actions and have some recap of that, and yeah, just talk about how Comfort did it. I think in general she was a great mole, and I think we can talk about all of the things she did next week, but of course we will also have to talk about that red screen, and I can assure you that this is probably like the biggest discussion going on at the moment. It never really slowed down, so it never really stopped, better said. Ever since she saw that red screen and then stayed in the game, people were discussing if she could be the mole and if the mole should be able to see a red screen or not, and why. And they kept discussing throughout the last episodes, and of course now that it's clear that it's her, well, the discussion is still going on widely, and I'm sure there's a lot to, well, discuss about that, and we will do that next week. But if you already want to say anything about that, then of course you can always write a comment under this video here. Just one more thing about her performance as the mole: she was a great actress, absolutely stunning. Really, I bow my hat, and I would raise a hat if I had one, but her actress performance was really bomb. Now let's have a look at what happened in this episode, because I have to say it was probably my favorite. So it's hard to choose a favorite episode, or let's say favorite assignments, when you just, well, watched an entire season, which was absolutely great. But just the assignments this time, I don't know why, they just really fitted into my mood, and I just love them. I love that TV part in task 1, and I also like those, well, those different worlds we almost had in task 2. So really probably my favorite, and especially great because it was a final, and it's always hard to keep up the excitement because there are only 3, well, candidates left over, and it's hard to find exciting tasks for them, so I absolutely loved it. So in task number 1, to start with that one, of course Comfort did appear as the most suspicious one, because she, well, failed her part of that task so greatly that even though Lancelot had some mole behavior in it, he couldn't reach her. So yes, she messed up those answers, and having a look at Lancelot, he messed up the first of those short videos, which would then, well, decide in which direction their car would drive. And he also messed up a bit of the well, weather forecast by, well, holding the microphone not high enough, but still nothing compared to Comfort's mole behavior. About toes, I think he was not suspicious at all in the task anymore, which was a reason for me to say, okay, it's definitely not toes anymore, so it's either Comfort or Lancelot. In task number 2, I think you can't really say who was very suspicious, because we didn't get to see which, well, of the 2 options each candidate chose. We of course know now in the end that it was Comfort who chose the one with the information about the mole, but we didn't get to see that during the task. So the most suspicious thing that happened during the task was Lancelot wasting so much time on that boat. But now that we know that he isn't a mole, I think that really was accidental. So yeah, not really that much to figure out from that task, but still I loved it. It was cool. There's one more thing what I did like about this episode, and it was that we already got some information about what the mole did in the last weeks. Yeah, there will be, I guess, more detailed analysis next week, but like there's tiny informations the candidates could have, well, figured out in task 2 were really interesting, like the huge discussion and ever ongoing discussion about how the mole and that mole puppet communicated with each other. Like that they already showed us that was pretty cool. Now we know that Comfort communicated by, well, smiling, at least with her mouth. So that was pretty cool to know. Yeah, she scored 6 out of 20 questions and then landed in the DeLorean. As I said, next week more about the red screen. And the third one was the information about the axe. And that was pretty cool because it could have also been Lancelot destroying the axe at that point. So that really didn't give anything away. When they showed us the DeLorean question, I was like, gave me kind of bad feeling about my mole. But yeah, still nothing sure at that point until the light went on above Lancelot's head, and then it was clear it had to be Comfort. So all in all, another great episode. As I said, probably my favorite of this season. I loved how they all seemed happy and probably also a bit relieved that it's over now. In the end, Comfort seemed really happy, which is great as well. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to next week and to watch all the other candidates' reactions. I've always loved that last episode of the Belgian Mole, and last year we didn't have it like that, so I'm really looking forward to watching it. I'm also very curious to read about your opinions on this final and on the mole, because I know that at least on my last video the majority of people went into the Lancelot tunnel, but somehow we all weren't sure about it, which is really interesting. So I'm very looking forward to reading well, what you thought about it, what you think about Comfort as the mole and Lancelot as the winner. And yeah, there are 2 more things I want to share with you. One thing was that there's the mole forum where they all discuss a lot, and Jill actually joined that discussion and people were able to ask him some questions, which was pretty interesting, and he revealed some, well, interesting information about the current season but also about older seasons. and if you like, then I can post the link in the comment section below, and then you can use the automatic Google translator, and then it translates from Dutch to English, and it's probably not perfect, but it works pretty well, so if you want to read that, you can check it out. And the other thing I wanted to share with you, and that is a huge recommendation. It is in Dutch, but I really recommend it to you because it is so much fun. As you know, there's the talk show called Café de Mol, which they always broadcasted right after the new The Mol episode, and then there were like some people discussing about the episode and some older candidates as well, and always the person who had just, well, left the game joined them in that Café de Mol. And in this year they had a little addition to that show, because they had two musicians who wrote a song always with the same music, but they always wrote new lyrics about the current episode and about the person who had to leave. So like Connie got her own song, Ruben got one, Lieselot got one, and it was always so much fun and so great because they did not only sing alone, but they also added some quotations from the current episode in it as well, and the last sentence was always sung by that person who had just left the game, and it's so brilliantly done that I really recommend it to you, even though it's in Dutch. You can watch it on their Instagram, and they also produced an extra version which is longer and is a recap of the whole episode, and they showed it this time, so I really recommend it to you because I'm not sure if you've got to see that one as well. So if not, then I'm sure they posted it on their Instagram as well. I will link the Instagram account below in the information box. So I really recommend to check those videos out because they are so much fun. And now last but definitely not least, the promised good news. At least I think those are good news, so I'm really curious what you think about them. Well, last week, while I was waiting for the final to be broadcasted and while trying to make myself realize that it's all over now and we will have to wait another year for a new The Mole season, well, I somehow decided to do some research. And I figured out that Netflix has announced to produce a second season of The Mole. So I think if everything turns out to be like last year, that we will get a new Netflix The Mole season at some point in autumn. And that would be, of course, really great because now we know how the Netflix Mole works. So if everything works out like that and no bad surprises happen, then I definitely plan to do some hints and theories video this time, because last year it didn't work out, but it's definitely on my to-do list. So I figured it out that they kinda announced it already back in February. I don't know why I never read about it anywhere, but yeah, they were looking for candidates, and the application form is still online. I'm not so sure about if it actually is still, well, open for application, but it's still available online. And if you're a US citizen or living in Canada, then you can, well, check it out if you would like to be part of the new Netflix The Mole season. But as I said, it's probably already too late to join them. I'm not so sure about it, but yeah, go ahead and check it out. So I hope those are good news for you as well. Definitely let me know what you think about it, and of course what you think about the final of the Belgian The Mole. Share your opinion with me and with all the other people reading the comments down there in the comments below. So if you do not want to miss any further videos about the Mole shows, then make sure to subscribe to this channel here, follow me on Instagram. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you all back next week for the last Hints and Theories video to the, well, 11th season of The Mole. Until then, bye!